welcome to another video, and today we're going to take a look at a budget theme for Ultra League Halloween Cup. So it's a very new meta for Ultra League specifically. It has already been done in Great League for a few seasons, and it is a very refreshing look at it, and I think this is one of the cheapest themes that you can build for the Halloween Cup. Of course, we have Florges, which has access now to Fairy Wind at the start of this season. Very nice move. I think it's a Psycho Card clone, so it generates 9 energy for each of the Fairy Winds, and then we have Escavalier and then Crobat at the back. Escavalier, I think, does not even go that high in level. I think only goes to like level 30 or not even level 35 basically in order to access it. And then you have Crobat. Mine is a Hundo, so it is not that high in X. I don't think it requires XL if it is a Hundo, but of course you can always go with a very good rank 1 and then go into the XL territory. But I think this is very much good enough for this specific meta. And then here in the first matchup, we are in a bit of a pickle. They brought in a Tentacruel against our Crobat. Our biggest Tentacruel answer, Escavalier, is already down, and based on PV Poke, they recommend Psychic on Florges, but I think I want to try it with Moonblast so that it has more finishing power against the dragons and against the dark types, because our backline especially is not very good against the ghost types and the dragons, even though Escavalier does resist the dragon type moves. It does very little in terms of damage against it. If it is Dragalge, of course it has Drill Run, but then again you still get spammed by the Aqua Tails, and then against Giratina you can't do much in terms of fast move. So that's why Florges is running Moonblast. And here they brought in the Trevenant, and then we have a move stored on our Crobat. The Poison Fang will take it out from this range, and this GG's to my first opponent. And going on to the second match, Florges against Drapion. This is a very neutral matchup, but then again, if this is a Poison Sting Drapion, so we have to swap out immediately because we do not want to take damage from a potential Sludge Bomb. Because like Drapion, usually in a safe swap, they tend to have Crunch and Aqua Tail. For simple reason, they might want for the Nidoqueen that might counter swap into them. But I feel that in the lead there is some potential that they might run Sludge Bomb, even though Aqua Tail is very much preferred. But I think Sludge Bomb would have been better for Drapion in the lead, because then it could go up against other Dark and Fairy types. And here we managed to get them very low, and we are going to let our Crobat go down. It has done its job, and then we are going to come in here with Escavalier to just counter it down. Most probably we will have to take a move. I know you don't. I think they're just short. And we are going to come in with a Nidoking, very spicy Pokemon indeed. But Nidoking is quite frail compared to its counterpart Nidoqueen, so the Drill Run almost one-shots it. We can safely shield here. If it is a Centum, it is still okay because they won't be able to get to another moveset, and it is a double Nido at the back. We have a Nidoqueen right now, so my only win con here that I find is if they go straight Earth Power. If they go straight Earth Power here, then we will be able to outpace it. But if they suddenly go for a Poison Fang first, they would win. And here they just gave me my win con. I can immediately go for a double Drill Run right here. Hopefully we can take it out with this Drill Run. we shall see, does it KO a Nidoqueen from here? If it is a very XL mon, it won't kill, and it's definitely an XL mon, very high XL. And then we have to take it out with Florges. We cannot let our Escaf take a hit from them, because at that point I think they already have quite a lot of energy. And here we are able to take it out, and then the Nidoking is very low, and then it just falls to Fairy Winds. So our third opponent, Florges versus Giratina. This is the lead that we want to see. We do not want to let our backline go against especially a Dragon Breath Giratina. And then they brought in a Grand Bull, and we can swap in our Crobat to take the charm damage. But as you can see, the charm damage still does a lot. Grand Bull is very much a glass cannon. It does a lot of damage. We will have to shield here the Crunch. Crunch will put us very low in health, and they will most probably be able to charm us down. And they did get a defense drop, but we are okay with it. That means that the Giratina, when it comes back in, it won't be able to farm us as much. And they have a Shadow Claw version of Giratina, which is very interesting, because then that means it would be able to do a bit more damage against our Florges. But we managed to land the bait against them, which is very crucial here, because that means the Shadow Ball, if they don't shield it, it will do a lot of damage. Boom, it does a lot. It does about 70% of the damage. And then we're going to let this let it go down. And then they brought in a Chandelure, so another core breaker against our team. And I think this is where this is one of the scenarios whereby if Florges had a Psychic, would have been very much game over for them, because Psychic will most probably have taken it out, because it is neutral as compared to Moonblast, which is resisted. Chandelure is very frail, very attack weighted. As you can see here, the HP of Chandelure has already gone down by a lot, even by just counter and Fairy Wind damage. And yeah, and then we will be able to survive this, but then again we will not have that much HP left to go up against the Shadow Claw Giratina. They do have a Dragon Claw ready to go, and they will be able to, oh sorry, it's a Shadow Sneak. They have a charge move, so they are able to take us out. Going on to the fourth battle is Florges against a Drapion. Again, a very iffy move, a very iffy matchup, but this is a Bite Drapion. If you had stayed in here, it would have been very promising for Florges, because we would be able to resist the fast move, but then again we did not want to take the damage from it. So we are going to shield this move, because I'm not very familiar with the energy generation of Bite. So I will shield that one, and because I thought it was going to be Crunch, but it was not. And then they brought in a Mandibuzz. So basically they have, right now they have two dark attackers in their team. So I'm reading they might have maybe a poison or a fairy type at the back, because they need something to handle the other fairy types, right? Because Mandibuzz will not be able to handle it with Air Slash. Even though it is tanky, it will be able to take a hit, but it just won't be able to do as much in return. And here, as you can see, the Mandibuzz does not do that much against Florges, and we are just going to go straight for the disarming voice, because they already been debuffed by it. And because we already know it is a Bite Drapion, we are able to stay in, just spam disarming voice. Disarming voice, if I'm not mistaken, is a foul play clone, so we almost took it out. Escavalier comes in to snipe, and they immediately forfeited. Good game. Next match is against Escavalier, another very iffy matchup for the lead. We immediately swap into the mirror. There was some lag there on our end. We could immediately tap out, but we are going to shield the first move because we want, if possible, we want to reciprocate we want them to reciprocate the shields, because their Escavalier will win in the 2 shields because of the energy advantage that they have. But we shall see whether or not they are going to be able to capitalize on it, and they would not be able to capitalize on it. They tried to go for the CMP tie, but our Escavalier has very much a higher attack than theirs, so they have used up 2 shields and we have only used up 1, and we're going to let it go because shield advantage, I believe, was going to be very crucial, especially for Florges in the end game. And then we are going to bring in the Crobat, going to farm them all the way down, saving the shield because Drill Run will be single resisted due to the flying type, but they throw the Aerial Ace instead. Very good coverage, I would say, but then again it won't do as much. And then they brought in a Tyranitar, very interesting. And then they have a Sylveon at the back. I think that was a 1 turn lag there for them because they did pause without doing any damage. But since they are not throwing yet, we are going to over farm and throw the Moonblast during their fast move animation so that we do not take up the damage, take them out. And now this is a race to a Moonblast. If we can get here, we will win, and we do get to it. 99 Shadow Tyranitar, sleep tight under the Moonblast here, and that's it for the first set. Going on to the second set, the Florges into a Tentacruel. Again, a very iffy matchup. We immediately swap into Escavalier. I think both are able to do the job, but then again they brought in the Poison Jab Alolan Muk. And in this scenario, we would win in all shield scenario because we have an energy advantage. They are only running Poison Jab. 1 Dark Pulse will not KO us. As you can see, it will not do much even if they throw, but they decided to throw Acid Spray, which I guess because they want to one-shot with Dark Pulse afterwards, but then again they threw a second Acid Spray for some reason, which I don't understand why, because your Poison Jab still does very much nothing. So there was no point of trying to go for Acid Spray. Might as well go for Dark Pulse here. I think it would have been a better matchup for them. And then they brought in their Tentacruel again. We can go for another Drill Run on the CMP tie, but then again they decided to not go for the CMP tie. They tried to go for the full farm down, and they do get the full farm down, and now it's very bad. If they do have a Blizzard here, that means we will get one shot, and we have to respect the potential Blizzard, but they throw an Acid Spray. So 2 Pokemons already with Poison Jab and Acid Spray in their team. That means they would most probably need to have a Dark type or something that can handle Giratina, right? Because both their mons generally struggle against a Dragon Breath Giratina. And then they brought in a Sylveon against us, and it is a GG's to our opponent. 1 Moonblast and 1 Disarming Voice will most probably be enough to take them out, because Moonblast here takes about 50%, and then we can hopefully get to it. I believe we do survive this side shot because it is a non-stat move, and we do get to a Disarming Voice. And does this KO from this range? It has about a 35% health left, and it does. So GG's, we survive with 1 HP in a dream from our Florges. So next matchup against Umbreon, another very good lead, and they swap out into a Trevenant straight away. We were a bit slow on the switch. That means they are already at the Shadow Ball, but they decided to beat us first, and this becomes very problematic because now we will most probably have to double shield here in order to win switch advantage. But they decided to throw up one of their own shields, which is very interesting because that means our Crobat here can farm them all the way down right now and still conserve a shield. Sorry, not conserve a shield. They will have shield advantage here, but then again we do have Poison Fangs to throw on the Umbreon if needed to, but we are going to save it for the end game just in case we do need it against potential fairy types that might come in. But here they decided to stay in, which is very strange because if they do have a Giratina at the back, this would be the best time to bring it in against our Escavalier, because our Escavalier does not do that much in terms of fast move damage, but it turns out they have a Nidoqueen at the back, and here let's see whether we can go for a double drill runs here. And if we do get a drill run through, that means it will set up our Crobat very nicely, because we do have a Shadow Ball on our Crobat. They do have a Poison Fang on the Nidoqueen, but they are not able to throw it because our Crobat has CMP, Wind CMP tie against them because of our higher attack, and this will not kill us. We will I think we immediately swap out after this Poison Fang. They try to maybe snipe us here, but it does fail, and then we come back in with Florges, and it is a GG's for our opponent there, because we can just farm them up to double Disarming Voice, and then we just throw both of to kill both of their mons, and that will have been GG's for them. And this is one of the problematic I would say team combinations against our team. An Escavalier lead with a Tapu Fini safe swap, because that means our Escavalier will only be able to do damage from the drill run. Counter will not do as much, and let's see whether or not we can get a shield from them. Maybe they will respect this drill run, maybe they won't, but they know that they will be able to survive. And we are going to aggressively farm down with the Florges if possible. We will count them. So yeah, we have to give up a shield here because they will throw a charge move. We need all the energy we can get, but our attack fell, which is very bad. And then here they have a Bisharp, and it's almost a completely hard wall team to ours, and we just made it quit here because we don't have a win con for this game. GG's. Bisharp, very spicy mon. I don't have one myself. I think it's a very steep investment because you can only get it from the 12k MX, and if possible, I want to get something which has very good rank as opposed to just building one for the sake of building one. And here they have a Snarl Granbull, but because they stayed in, there was a very high chance that they would run Play Rough, because if they are not able to run, because if they don't run Play Rough, then basically our Florges will win in all shield scenario, because Crunch and Close Combat will be resisted by our Florges. And they brought in the Snarl Houndoom, another very spicy team, but it is understandable why Snarl Houndoom is being used here. It can beat the Shadow Claw Giratina. It can also beat other ghost types, but I feel that it does not have as much play against the Steel Bugs, because you are going for charge move damage as opposed to fast moves with Fire Fang, which I think is preferable on the Houndoom. And here they brought in the Alolan Mark to try and catch they tried to catch the Disarming Voice on their Alolan Mark, but it does not work out for them. And here our win con is just basically to go straight Poison Fangs, try to debuff them as much as possible here, because they will have to respect the damage of Air Slash sooner or later, so they will have to throw their Dark Pulse. They cannot try to bait us with a charge move, because if they bait, we can just go for a Disarming Voice from our Florges, we can take them out. and here we throw another Poison Fang. This Poison Fang will leave them very low on health, and they do shield this up, but we don't care. The Crobat has already done its job. Aludemark is the last Pokemon. It has a low attack compared to Florges, and therefore we will win the CMP if anything, but we don't need to worry that much about it. So Aludemark does KO. To our last game here, we have Tapu Fini on the lead. Another very interesting lead. We can stay in for a while if we correctly shield the Moonblast. This would mean that we can win the one shield, I believe. But they decided to shield our Moonblast. That means that now the ball is in their court. They have the upper hand here against our team, and now it's a race to the next Moonblast. When we get to a Moonblast, most probably they will get to their own, but yeah, they decided to do a Surf instead. I'm guessing they expect another shield from us, but here we do not get to KO them. We immediately swap to Escavalier to aggressively farm them down. If they don't swap right here, that means that we are able to farm them down, but we decided that it was a bit too risky. We needed Escavalier just in case they have a Nidoqueen at the back, and if they do have a Nidoqueen at the back, we are able to throw one Drill Run, but instead they have a Toxicroak, and we just about managed to get to a Drill Run, get their final shield here, and Crobat will be able to align our Crobat with our Toxicroak, and we are going to see what is their last mon after this. If it is a Giratina or Dark type, that means it's a GG's for them, and they do have an Umbreon at the back, so we can just soften it up a bit so that one Moonblast could potentially KO them. So yeah, if you like this video, please drop a comment, drop a like as well, subscribe. You'll get a notification every time a new video drops. And yeah, just to end this video, you can see that we are able to CMP tie with them. And let's see whether this Moonblast KOs. It barely doesn't, but anyways, it doesn't matter. Our Crobat will be able to farm them down, and we will be able to throw a Shadow Ball on their Toxicroak, and that is it from me. I will most probably try to get one more video out on Halloween Cup for Ultra League, and yeah, most probably that will be in 1 or 2 days, hopefully. But yeah, that is it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.